What happens when a police department decides to throw a party for Ozzy Osbourne's fans without telling the Prince of Darkness? Well, in 2007, a sheriff in North Dakota found out the hard way. He cooked up a plan he thought was a genius way to round up local fugitives, throw a fake Ozzy concert party, promise free tickets, and lure in anyone with outstanding warrants. And hey, it kind of worked. People showed up and cops slapped on the cuffs. But the sheriff made one massive mistake, an oversight that turned his big win into a PR nightmare. He never bothered to ask for permission. So when Ozzy Osbourne discovered his name was used to arrest his own fans, his furious reaction lit up the media, sparking a massive debate about the ethics of it all. This is a story of the police sting that royally ticked off Ozzy Osbourne. Our story kicks off in Cass County, North Dakota, back in 2007. The local sheriff, Paul Laney, was facing a huge headache. He had a stack of about 3,000 outstanding warrants just collecting dust. Now, these weren't for master criminals. They were mostly just for things like unpaid child support, traffic fines, and minor drug infractions. Still, it was a giant backlog, and trying to serve them one by one was a very slow, arduous, and expensive process, and it wasn't very effective. People skip town, they don't answer the door, and sometimes they get creative. Sheriff Laney figured that he would fight fire with fire. He later told the press, "These criminals are creative, so we had to get creative too." He needed a new, unconventional plan to clear a bunch of these warrants in one shot. And as luck would have it, Ozzy was scheduled to play the Fargodome. For most people, it was a rock show, but for Sheriff Laney, it was a golden opportunity. An idea started to form, a plan that was either brilliant or a total disaster waiting to happen. He was going to throw a party, a fake one, designed as the perfect trap for wanted fugitives who also happened to be Ozzy fans. Sheriff Laney's department invented a shell company called PDL Productions. Yup, it was named after Paul Laney himself. Under this phony banner, they mailed out over 500 official-looking invitations to people on their warrant list. The letter was a dream come true for any Ozzy fan. 2 free tickets to the show and an invitation to an exclusive pre-show party. It looked totally legit, mimicking the style of Ozzy's official VIP packages at the time. Then on October 29, 2007, the night of the concert, the trap was sprung. As a few dozen excited winners rolled up to the nightclub ready to rock, they weren't met by roadies and guitars, they were met by cops. One by one, as they walked in, they were promptly arrested. The party was a bust, in every sense of the word.
Is this some kind of bust?
Well, it's very impressive, yes, but we need to ask you a few questions.
All told, somewhere between 30 to 40 people were taken into custody, and some were stunned while others were just simply angry. One person reportedly felt like they'd been punked, while another surprisingly told an officer, "Wow, you guys are good. You got me." The sting was so weirdly effective that the next day, a few people who got the letter but skipped the party just turned themselves in, figuring the gig was up. For Sheriff Laney, it was a massive success. He quickly called a press conference to celebrate, proudly announcing his creative police work to the world. He even boasted, "We use drug money to lure criminals to justice." How poetic is that? But as Laney was taking his victory lap, news of the creative sting was starting to spread, and it was about to reach the one person whose opinion he'd completely ignored. Ozzy Osbourne was on tour, completely oblivious that his concert and his fans were being used as bait. When he found out, he wasn't just annoyed, he was furious. In a blistering public statement, Ozzy ripped into the sheriff's department. Instead of holding a press conference to pat himself on the back, "Sheriff Laney should be apologizing to me for using my name in connection with these arrests. He called the whole thing insulting to me and my audience." Ozzy's anger wasn't just about his brand, it felt deeply personal. He said the sting, and I quote, "tarnished my reputation by implying that I somehow attract a criminal element, which is certainly not true." He went to bat for his fan base, declaring, "My audience are good, hardworking people who have been hugely supportive of my music for nearly 4 decades. He even pointed out that the same fans had helped raise over $1 million for his wife Sharon's colon cancer charity, partly through the exact kind of VIP packages that the police had faked. To Ozzy, this wasn't smart policing, it was just lazy. He argued the sheriff should be ashamed of himself and said that with some good police work and a little bit of time, he could have accomplished this without bringing my name into it. He accused Laney of just trying to make a name for himself on his back. The message was pretty loud and clear. This was a cheap shot, and the Prince of Darkness was demanding an apology. Faced with the wrath of a rock god, Sheriff Laney didn't flinch. He refused to apologize and stood his ground, insisting the department did nothing wrong. He added, "We meant no disrespect towards Mr. Osbourne or his show." Laney called the operation a very creative law enforcement technique. He then offered a truly bizarre defense, arguing that using Ozzy's name was no different than a bar using the names of teams in the Super Bowl to advertise a party. A lot of people didn't buy the argument. The Super Bowl is a public broadcast. A concert is a private event built entirely on an artist's name and reputation. The incident sparked a huge public debate. Was this an innovative way to catch criminals, or was it an unethical police overreach that smeared an innocent celebrity's brand? People threw the word entrapment around, but legally this wasn't quite right. Entrapment is convincing someone to commit a crime they weren't going to commit. Here, the crimes were already on the books. The police just got creative about getting people to show up for their arrest. But the ethical questions lingered. How far can law enforcement bend the rules of deception? Where's the line between a clever tactic and a stunt that damages an innocent person's reputation? The sheriff's office saw a win that took offenders off the street, and Ozzy and his fans saw a lazy, fame-hungry move that exploited his name and brand and unfairly painted his entire fan base as criminals. This wild story remains a fascinating clash between police tactics and celebrity power. There are no easy answers here, just a stubborn sheriff, an enraged rock star, and a debate that still feels relevant. What's your take on it? Was the sheriff's plan a brilliant move or an unethical mess? Let me know in the comments section, and if you enjoyed the story, make sure to like and subscribe for more dives into the weirdest moments in rock history. Sheriff Laney never ended up apologizing, and the Ozzy sting went down in Fargo lore. Ozzy, for his part, made it clear his beef was with the sheriff alone, not the people of North Dakota. He even said he hoped to return to Fargo to perform again, just under much, much better circumstances. The Prince of Darkness had made his point, leaving a cautionary tale for anyone who might throw a party in his name without asking first. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.